What is up, guys? Welcome back to another special episode of the Fantasy Fellows Show. It's Sunday morning, week 3. We're hanging out for the next half an hour or so. We're going to go over some of the actives, the injury news list today, and then I will answer any questions that I have in the chat room. Hope you guys are all doing well. It's raining where I'm at, so I'm not sure what the weather is looking like elsewhere. I did want to pull that up and just double check some things. But come on in, settle down. We'll hang out for the next half an hour or so and get some questions answered for you guys. As far as weather goes, I'm seeing a slight chance of rain at New York Giants and Cleveland Browns, slight chance of thunderstorms, Green Bay and Tennessee, and then numerous rain showers in Indianapolis, but that's in a dome, and slight chance of rain at Seattle, and that's really it. They are calling for potential rain tomorrow night in Buffalo and Cincinnati as well. But hope you guys are doing well. Good afternoon to Harris, Jacobs, or Waddle at flex, coming in hot with it. I mean, you got to go Jacobs. We just got the news that Jordan Love is inactive. That's the main one we were waiting for. I'm also seeing Justin Herbert is expected to start here. I'm just hitting refresh on some of my Twitter feeds here. Joshua Palmer inactive for week 3. Michael Pittman's active, which is weird. I didn't expect him to be a game time decision. But Jordan Love officially inactive. You have Malik Willis starting. So this one's easy, man. We're going, even if it's half PPR for running back, like you're potentially getting 25 plus carries from Josh Jacobs. This is a good week to learn and see what the Skylar Thompson offense is going to look like for Miami. So I'm loving Josh Jacobs today, and you just traded for him. So let's go Josh Jacobs. Get him in that lineup. I'm just hitting refresh on a couple other things. Justin Herbert is active today. Expected to start. Nothing really else. Taysom Hill was ruled out for the New Orleans Saints. And the Broncos will emphasize the run game to take pressure off Bo Nix headed into week 3. So we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of the main. We were kind of on top of a lot of things today, or this week. So we're not really looking like a too crazy list of inactives, actives. If you're waiting for T. Higgins tomorrow night, I'm expecting T. Higgins to play. I think he's like a wide receiver 3 flex option. I'm not in love with playing T. Higgins, but if you need to and you're in a pinch, you can play T. Higgins. We're expecting Michael Pittman to play, which I just got a question here from Chase. I was not in on Pittman to begin the year, and it's looking really bad for him right now. Actually, I don't think he's a top 36 wide receiver in fantasy football right now. I'm waiting to see if I'm pretty sure Josh Downs is playing today, and that should lower his expectations as well. Unfortunately, I just don't think Anthony Richardson meshes very well with Michael Pittman Jr. He's winning with Alec Pierce right now. And, just adding another target with Josh Downs today makes it a little bit iffy. And just going up against the Bears secondary, Bears have a very good defense. I'm sitting Michael Pittman Jr. if I can. I think he's more of like a wide receiver 4. I might even play Jalen Waddle over Michael Pittman Jr. I might play Khalil Shakir, some of those fringe wide receiver 3 guys over Michael Pittman Jr. Pick 1, T. Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Rico, Hopkins, Reed, Samuel, Jalen, Wright, full PPR. We're going to go with Rico Dowdle here. I believe that's Ty Johnson or Tyler Johnson, one of the Johnsons there. I'm not super excited. I kind of want to see what this Rams wide receiver room looks like today. And I'm not excited about the Rams offense right now. So let's learn about the Rams receivers. Brandon Cooks against the Ravens, kind of disappointing week 2. He looked good with the touchdown week 1, but I want to see Brandon Cooks one more time before I think about playing him. I think Rico Dowdle kind of separated himself last week as the starting running back for the Cowboys. He also caught 4 passes for almost 30 yards. I think Rico is probably the safest, 8 to 10 point floor. And if he does get in the end zone or racks up more catches, it's going to be a good game. I like the Ravens Cowboys game. Hopkins still on a snap count, route count. Jaden Reed, I like Jaden Reed, but you're banking on some crazy, end around touchdown or something. I think if he doesn't get a touchdown, he's not going to be usable. So, I'm going to lean towards sitting Jaden Reed. Curtis Samuel is just not usable yet, and Jalen Wright's not usable yet. So it's close between Dowdle and Reed. I'm going to go Rico Dowdle, expecting him to get 10, 12 plus touches today. Yeah, that's I've started to send Michael Pittman Jr. offers in my dynasty league. He's on my bench. I have a pretty good dynasty team, and I'm not using him. So as soon as we get like a 5 for 80 touchdown game with Michael Pittman Jr., we gotta move on from Pittman. Gullies, good morning. How do we feel about Demarcus Robinson and Rashad? Is that Jauan Jennings over Waddle and Pittman, also starting Javonte Williams at flex? I'm very open to Demarcus Robinson being a solid play today. I think you're looking at, probably the team's leader in snaps and routes, as he's the veteran receiving option there. I also think in terms of targets and receptions, he's probably the guy. I think he's got a nice safe floor of, 10 points in a PPR league, whether that be, 5 for 50, 4 for 60, somewhere in that range. And if he does get the touchdown, that makes your day. So I like Demarcus Robinson. Now, Jauan Jennings, I like Jauan Jennings. He's going to be the number 2 target today, but it's a game where, the Cardinals just blew out this Rams team. Rams are really limping into this one. No Kupp, no Puka. Offensive line is decimated. The defense is not looking good. I'm nervous that it's a heavy Jordan Mason game. So personally, I'm probably playing Waddle over Rashad, or it's Jauan Jennings. I'm playing Waddle over Jauan Jennings. I'm playing Waddle over Michael Pittman Jr. And then I do agree with Pittman or Javonte at flex. So for me personally, I would go Waddle as that second receiver and flex Javonte. And hey, no bad, Jauan. Jauan's a good player, but you're really in a game where the projections right now look like Jordan Mason's going to get 25 carries and 140 yards and a touchdown. I think it's just going to be a lot. And the 49ers are a smart team. They're trying to get into they're going to win this game today, but they want to make sure that nobody gets injured. They're going to run the ball a lot today, and I don't expect a huge game from Purdy in the passing offense, although I do like Ayuk. I could start Waddle, Pitts, Palmer, or Dobbs over Pittman. Palmer's been ruled out. So if you guys have Quentin Johnston, that should be another nod to put Johnston in. But I'm seeing Josh Palmer inactive with the elbow calf injury. I like Dobbs, but not with Malik Willis yet. I'm probably going Waddle over Pittman today. Yeah, man, I'm starting Brenton Strange as well. And Strange actually looked okay last week. He had some red zone targets. He had 6 total targets on the game. 3 for 65. He's kind of a big play guy. And in a game script where we expect Buffalo to play from ahead, Jacksonville could be forced to throw 30, 35 times. I like Brenton Strange. And, I have Evan Ingram in my most important league. So I was kind of waiting for that inactive news all week. And then we got it yesterday. So Brenton Strange is a viable potential starting tight end 1 this week if you need the help. Oh, I think you got it. Wow. David Phillips, that's a tough one. I'm going to lean Zay Flowers. I think it's a better game script where if Seattle's playing from a lead, they might not have to throw the ball a ton against Miami. This is tough because these are 2 of my favorite wide receivers. It's super close. I'm going to lean Zay Flowers by a hair, but honestly, it's kind of a coin flip. JSN was dominant last week, but I'm going to lean with Zay Flowers. He's had 10 targets and 11 targets through 2 games, so he's had 2 weeks where he gets a green check mark. JSN just the 1 week. I'm gonna go with my guy Zay Flowers. Josh Jacobs or Tony Pollard. I'm gonna go Josh Jacobs. I expect him to be again the centerpiece of the Packers offense today. Marshawn Lloyd's not playing. He's on IR, so they have Emmanuel Wilson there as the RB2. It's looking like a 25 carry day for Josh Jacobs. And as much as I like Tony Pollard, his usage won't be as strong. So it's a simple one where I'm just taking the guy that I feel pretty confident is going to get the more carries, the more touches, and a good chance at a touchdown. Hey, Julian. Yeah, from Germany. Awesome. Would you start Jerry Jeudy or Jaden Reed in a half PPR? Yahoo has a higher projection for Reed. You're banking on a Jaden Reed touchdown, I think, today for him to make your fantasy lineup. And for me, Jerry Jeudy's looked pretty good. He's actually been the best consistent receiver through 2 games with Deshaun Watson. And that's a game against the Giants secondary. We just saw Malik Neighbors shred, not Malik Neighbors, but we saw a couple teams have good games against the Giants to start the year. So I'm leaning towards Jerry Jeudy being the safer play. Jaden Reed, Malik Willis, he's probably going to throw the ball 15 times today. You're banking heavily on a touchdown. I'm going to slight lean Jerry Jeudy here. And hey, so on Sunday mornings like last weekend, I was unable to do it. The weekend before, I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So I'm going to try and do as many of these Sunday live streams as I can. And I'm going to continue what I do is I set the time start for inactives, which is 90 minutes before kickoff of the early game. So any Sunday that I can do it, I will continue to do this. And I think next Sunday I should be good to go. George, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Start 2, non-PPR, DJ Moore Flowers, JMO JSN. Non-PPR, I think you got to play. Zay Flowers is the guy that I feel pretty good about today. And then it's, that Arizona Cardinals game, man, it's got 52.5 points implied. I'm thinking Jameson Williams is the next best option for you. So DJ Moore, I love DJ Moore as a player, but I really can't trust the Bears offense right now. I'm thinking Flowers and Jameson Williams. I would rank JSN number 3. He doesn't really catch touchdowns. He could easily catch one today. But I'm going to go Flowers and Jameson Williams today. Those are both 2 awesome games. Gesicki, Ertz, Strange, or Colby Parkinson. I'm comfortable with Mike Gesicki in there. I probably would rank these as Gesicki, Ertz, Strange, Parkinson. But Gesicki, he had a huge game last weekend, and now he's playing easily the worst secondary in football with the Washington Commanders. I know T. Higgins is back, so he's probably not going to get those 9, 10, 11 targets that we saw last weekend, but he's a good bet against a really poor team on Monday Night Football. Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And from Germany, that's awesome. I'm honored to be reaching over there in Germany. Very cool. And thank you for hanging out with us this morning, and hopefully more mornings in the future. Jerry, good morning. Start 2, full PPR. Judy Pittman Higgins. The Higgins question. I like T. Higgins, but he's got a history of coming back and not playing a full amount of snaps, a full amount of routes. I like Higgins, but he's always kind of done that when he comes back from an injury. I think Judy's the safe play here of the 3. And then I guess I'm really uninspired by Michael Pittman Jr. I think I'm going to roll out T. Higgins here for you. So we're going to go T. Higgins and Jerry Jeudy of the 2. So there's the one positive about Skylar Thompson, and we don't have a lot of data on him. He did play a few games back in 2022 with the team. He threw the ball at about 57% completion. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions in a few games here. His high for yards in the playoffs was 220 yards. Otherwise, he threw for 166 yards one week and 152 the other week. So not expecting a touchdown from Waddle, but he does kind of feature these short area targets. So if Waddle finishes with like 4 for 40, something like that, I think that is probably his floor, something in that 7 to 10 point range. And Mike McDaniel is a smart coach. I think he's going to have Skylar Thompson ready to play in this one. So not a super high ceiling for Jalen Waddle unless he, catches a touchdown and runs 80 yards. But I think Waddle's probably a safe 8 to 10 point floor today. Oh man, that's Harris. Johnny Munt or Jordan Akins. I mean, I guess I'll go Jordan Akins here. We haven't really seen a lot of Johnny Munt. Akins did look good week 1, not so great last weekend. I guess, I mean, it's a true ugly coin flip here. I guess I will go with Akins. Is that Ford, or I'm assuming that's Aaron Jones? I'm going to go Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones at home against Houston today. That's a fun game. Excited about that one. I'll go Aaron Jones. A little bit nervous about DeAndre Swift losing his volume of carries. Like we all thought he was going to be the clear running back 1 for this team. And then Deonta Foreman kind of comes in like a wrecking ball last week and gets 14 carries. I like Deonta Foreman today against the Giants. I think Ford could be nice, but you got to play Aaron Jones while he's healthy. I would play Tucker Kraft over them, Harris. Kraft caught a couple balls last weekend. near the red zone, he could be a guy that gets a tight end screen for a touchdown. I would feel better about Tucker Kraft over Munt and the other one there, Jordan Aiken. So not a great play, but I could see Tucker Kraft getting 2-3 catches and just getting a 5-6 point floor for you at least. I'm going to hit refresh on some of my feeds here and see anything else that's come out. No Russell Wilson today. No Roman Wilson either. The Steelers rookie wide receiver not ready to make his debut quite yet. But we should be good to go on all of our updates for the morning. Who is the second Rams receiver you would stash after Robinson? I think it's Jordan Whittington. Tyler Johnson, he's fine. He's not a great athletic profile. He's kind of bounced around a few teams. I think he's in his 4th or 5th year. He's kind of just a guy. Whereas Jordan Whittington, he was dominant in the preseason. And I know it's the preseason, but when a player looks as good as he did, I tend to think that he's going to be the guy that continues to get more work and emerges over Tyler Johnson. So I'm viewing Whittington as the stash play. If you have access to add a guy today, I think Jordan Whittington would be the guy, and I expect his role to grow this week. And, you know, we don't know what Kupp's injury extent is. He didn't go on IR, so I think he's out 1, 2, 3 games. And if he was going to be out 4 games, they would have put him on IR. So I think, you know, a 2 to 3 week rental on Jordan Whittington is worth a stash play. Do we like the Chargers D over Steelers D this week? They play each other. No, I mean, we're getting a limited Justin Herbert with a ankle sprain today. That Steelers defense is pretty good. And it's in Pittsburgh. I'm going to trust the Steelers defense today. I do think that the offense in Steelers, I have a little bit more confidence in them running the ball and some potential big plays with Pickens and Justin Fields. I'm going to go Steelers D today. Chargers probably lose this one, go to 2-1 on the year. Steelers are a good football team. They're fundamentally sound, and they're playing Steeler football right now. So I'm excited about today's slate. We only have 6 games at the early slate, and then this afternoon slate is loaded. Carolina Raiders, whatever. Miami Seahawks should be okay, but Baltimore, Dallas, Detroit, Arizona, like those are some heavy hitting games. And then we'll see about San Fran and the Rams. But keep your questions coming in, guys. I will hang out for another 10 minutes or so as we're just getting all these new news and updates here. For me, I have a couple things that I got to look at in my lineups today too. So I'm starting D'Onta Foreman and Cam Akers today with confidence. I think D'Onta Foreman hopefully getting 12 to 15 touches today on the ground against the Giants, a game where they're favored to win by a touchdown. I think Foreman gets a touchdown today. And if you have access to Cam Akers, I think you got to play him today. You're looking at a guy that's probably getting the ball 15 plus times, a good chance to rack up 2-3 catches and maybe get a little bit of redemption on that goal line fumble that he had last weekend. So I like Cam Akers quite a bit. Chase is asking Tyler Johnson or Jake Ferguson, full PPR, tight end premium for my flex. Yeah, I'm going to go Jake Ferguson. I was very encouraged with his practice reports this week. The fact that he was cleared to go on Friday is a really good sign. I don't think that the injury is going to hold him back at all. And in a game where I'm expecting, you know, Ravens Cowboys is a very fun afternoon game. So I'm going to lean with that game. Tyler Johnson, I kind of want to see it before I start it. And the Ravens have been like last week, man, they allowed 10 catches for 109 yards to the tight ends in Las Vegas. They allowed 6 for 71 against Kansas City. Ravens are bad against tight ends right now. So I like Ferguson. Oh yeah. I mean, Joe Burrow is probably a top 5 QB play this week. This is probably the best matchup he's going to get all year at home against Washington. I think you're probably looking at a guy that gets 2, maybe 3 touchdowns passing the ball today. This is as good as it gets for Joe Burrow. He gets T. Higgins back. And, you know, he's got like Mike Gesicki, Andre Yoshivas. You got a couple other tight ends there. They have a good array of weapons that are kind of all tuned up. And now you're adding T. Higgins to that against the worst secondary in the league. I like Joe Burrow. And then I do like Zach Moss as well, because we expect this team, the Bengals, to control this game, play from ahead, and probably get their best running and passing stats that we've seen so far this year. So I think Zach Moss, a pretty strong running back 2 today. Oh, man. Pacheco, Mixon, Kittle, Waddle. Yeah, it's not fun right now. These injuries, man. We almost need to find a way to get these guys warmed up more so that these injuries don't happen as often as they do early in the season. But I do like I like Zach Moss today. I think you're going to be fine with Moss as your RB1 or 2. Good morning, Brandon. Thanks for the question. Keon Coleman or Isaiah Likely today? I like Keon Coleman, but I mean, last week he puts up a 0. That's a little concerning. It was a tough matchup against the Dolphins secondary. So I don't know if I want to risk getting another 0 or 1 catch game from Keon Coleman. I think I'm going to go Isaiah Likely here. I really like that atmosphere for Ravens and Cowboys. Let me just double check real quick and see what the Cowboys are allowing to tight end points right now. Where am I looking here? Let's take a peek here. So last week they only allowed 1 catch, but that was the really weird Saints game. Otherwise, 7 for 71 against tight ends in the Cleveland game here. I think you can get tight end points against the Cowboys. So I'm going to say Isaiah Likely and hope for the best. You got Javonte. Okay, so I do like Javonte today. He looked good as a receiver. Hopefully they can establish some run and get some positive stuff going there for the Broncos. They are looking like they're in trouble right now, but I think I still like Javonte over Jawan Jennings at flex. With Jawan, you're really banking on him getting a touchdown today. Otherwise, he's probably getting his 3 catches, maybe 4 catches at the most. I think Javonte Williams gets those same 3 to 4 catches. And he's also getting 12 to 15 carries as a rusher today. So if the Broncos score, I think the odd favorite would be Javonte Williams. So Coleman against the Jags, yeah. But I was talking last week against the Dolphins. He didn't get a single catch. He had 1 target at the end of the game. But I don't trust Keon Coleman yet. I don't really want to risk getting a 0 again like he did against the Dolphins. Javonte or Akers as RB2. That one I'm going to lean Cam Akers just because it's a better offense. That should be a good game against Minnesota where there's a lot more points probably being scored in that game here. So I feel good about Cam Akers as my RB2 over Javonte. Sit 1, Connor Pollard, Etienne, or Monty. Interesting. I think you got to play Connor because he's looking pretty good as a bell cow back for the Cardinals right now. I'm going to continue to play Etienne, even though it's a tough matchup at Buffalo. And then I think I'm going to go David Montgomery here. I've liked what we've seen from Tony Pollard, but he's on the worst offense of the 4 running backs that you've listed here. The Packers defense did kind of stifle things last weekend for the Colts. Don't know how many touchdown opportunities the Titans are going to get today. I'm going to go with Connor, Monty, and Etienne. So we're going to sit Tony Pollard here, DJ. Drop Kirk. Yeah, I have a hope that Jacksonville figures it out. And, I mean, Kirk's been a really good receiver, very productive over the last couple of years with Trevor Lawrence. And I think they need to find a way to get him as their leading guy in targets and reception. So to me, that's an obvious thing to get the Jags passing game back on track is get some manufactured touches for Christian Kirk, get him going, get the first downs moving. But yeah, right now it does look pretty bad for Christian Kirk. And Hopkins, hopefully we see more Hopkins snaps and routes. They've really been limiting him to start the year, but I think there's a chance that we see that spike up again today. I would assume Hopkins, he's probably not in our starting lineups this week yet. We want to see his participation increase, and I think we do see that increase today, but a little bit of a tough matchup against Green Bay here, so we'll see what happens. But we got another 5 minutes or so here. I'm just refreshing some of my feeds to see what's going on here. Again, if you missed it earlier, Jordan Love is inactive today. We're going to see Malik Willis against his former team, the Tennessee Titans. Expecting a heavy dose of Josh Jacobs, 25, 30 carries again. We'll see if they can control the ball and basically not turn the ball over. That's what they're going to try to do. It's looking like Justin Herbert's going to start today for the Chargers. They also have Stick and Taylor Heineke active just in case anything happens to that ankle. And yeah, we should be good to go here. I'm excited for the day, and I really, really like what they did with the slate today. We have 6 early games at noon, and we have a really fun slate of games in the afternoon. We have some good primetime games this weekend too. I think Kansas City and the Falcons are good tonight. I didn't get any Samaje Perine, Carson Steele questions today, which I think is interesting. I have Steele and Samaje across a few leagues, and I'm not quite sure what to think here. If I had to gut predict here, I'm going to say Carson Steele gets 14 carries for 60 yards, and then you're probably looking at one catch or something like that, and a pretty good chance for a touchdown if they get near the 5-yard line. And Perine, I'm expecting 5 to 6 carries for, I don't know, maybe 25, 30 yards at the most, and then probably 3 or 4 catches for Perine. Both guys can be used as low-end RB2s. Pittman, Waddle, Christian Kirk. Oh man, it's a lot of landmines in there. But hopefully you got some guys there that we can lean on here for the next few weeks. Because I think there's still hope for Waddle, Kirk, and Pittman. I think there's still hope, even though it's a bumpy ride. They should be able to figure it out. These guys are professionals, and we just need their coaches to get them involved in the game. But otherwise, if there's no other questions today, I'm going to get out of here. I got some lineups to set. I got some things to do on DraftKings. But enjoy the day, guys. Had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys this morning, and we had Germany on the stream today. So we're all over Fantasy Fellowship, all over today, and surviving with the waivers is the way to go. It is the number one thing that you can do to build your team. And if I have a couple other guys that I want to just shout out to maybe look at adding ahead on waivers, I think Keaton Mitchell is a stash play for the Ravens. He's going to come in and add some juice to that offense when he does come back, weeks 5, 6, 7, something in that range. Otherwise, you're adding handcuffs, guys like Emmanuel Wilson, guys like Isaac Guerrero, maybe Trey Sermon, Jeff Wilson, Jalen Wright, those type of guys. At the receiver position, if Josh Downs is available in your league, I think he's worth a pickup. I expect him to look good and maybe lead the team in receptions and targets at some point soon. Otherwise, we mentioned Jordan Whittington. I think Jalen Tolbert for the Cowboys, a couple names there could help you guys along the way. But appreciate it, Gullies. You guys enjoy the rest of the day. Have fun. Good luck. And we'll see you guys soon. Peace.